great to see you all here. Thank you for coming and joining this session. So, the goal of this session is for you to understand really how it feels like to study computer science and AI at IE University. To do so, we'll first welcome the Assistant Vice Dean, Robert Paulding, who will teach you and walk through how the program is structured and what you will learn from it. Then we'll see Sergio, one of our students, who will share his project and share his experience. So we'll have both perspectives, how the degree is designed and what it feels like to study it. Without waiting, I would like to introduce Robert to explain the program.
Good afternoon from Madrid, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Robert Paulding, and I'm the Assistant Vice Dean of Computing and Data Science. And I'm also the Director of the Bachelor in Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence. Today, I'd like to show you about the degree, give you an insight into what the studying will be like, what university life is like, and give you a little insight into some of our facilities and what it will be like to study here. Then I will pass you over to one of my students. I'm currently teaching him, and he will show off what I consider to be one of the most impressive projects that we've seen from students. And this will give you a little insight into what students actually go through here at IE. So, first of all, the degree. There is a huge demand for computer science and artificial intelligence at the moment. And IE provide a degree which is respected around the world, not just within Spain. Employers recognize IE as a leader in entrepreneurship and a leader in the business school sector. Now we're also leaders within the science and technology communities. We've recently launched our School of Science and Technology, and from this we want to build a world-class institute, which in the future will attract a PhD program and much more. The program itself is incredibly cross-discipline. Obviously, you develop the basic computer science skills. The first year, you develop all your fundamentals. You'll either study at our Madrid or Segovia campus, and you'll have the opportunity to explore also our facilities within the city of Madrid. You will learn very, very rigorous technical skills. Our students learn various programming languages in the first 2 years, including C++, Java, and Python. They also learn data analytics skills and artificial intelligence skills, together with all the fundamentals of computer science. So you'll study calculus, statistics, data structures, and then going into the second year, you'll start to study things like architectures, computer architectures, cloud computing. And of course, the really, really deep, rigorous programming will develop throughout your career. By the end of the course, you will have a real applicable skill set for industry. We hope to develop a program, or we have developed a program, which involves many different aspects of industry. We aim to develop well-rounded graduates, people who could work throughout different types of industries, whether it be government, research, or of course, private companies. And we are proud to say that our graduates are different to normal university graduates. We want our graduates to be people who can start on day one with real-world skills. This is what we get in feedback from employers. We also want our students to be really, really fluent in the latest technologies. So we have partnerships with companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, and Samsung to ensure that through the university, you'll be able to experience the latest technologies, the latest services, things like licenses to be able to use ChatGPT or access to the latest Microsoft technologies. The actual study is not like normal universities. In fact, you'll find that we don't have the traditional theory-based, textbook-based approach that you would find in a typical public polytechnic university. Instead, our classes are a blend of both practical theory from our professors, who often are still working in industry. A lot of our professors are still working in high-level jobs in some of the best companies in the world, and they do hands-on work in class. So in classes, you'll be developing machine learning models, software, and you'll be working with both your colleagues, with data sets, and actually working in class, having real practical and applicable experience. We also have, for your degree, an incredible robotics lab, and this is obviously a big part of the AI track of your degree. In this, you have access to cutting-edge technologies, and we have a research group which are making breakthrough technologies in robotics. Your future will be bright with IE studying on the Bachelor of Computer Science and AI. Our final years are dedicated to both proficiency and career development. So in the third year, you'll be really putting your skills to the test. You'll have developed those advanced programming skills, advanced data analytics skills, and advanced AI skills. Then in the fourth year, you apply this to career-focused electives, or you go away to study in a partner university anywhere around the world, or you go into a company and do an internship. Following this, you will do a final year project as well as studying career-focused subjects where you'll really prepare yourself so that when you step into work on day one, you won't be one of these people that need to learn the job. You'll be able to start right away. We're hoping to build the leaders of tomorrow, and I would say the biggest advantage to studying at IE is our community, the people around you. You'll have the opportunity to network with future leaders and through some of our opportunities also to network with people on our master's program, which is the most prestigious program in Spain. In other words, by the end of your studies, you'll have a worldwide network of contacts. You'll have the most incredible LinkedIn where you'll be able to reach out to people around the world for job opportunities or to support you in future projects or work that you do. Also, we are very proud that this degree is slightly different to others. It's a practical building hands-on degree where you make software. And this is something you won't find in other degrees within IE. So you'll be prototyping, you'll be creating solutions that make real-world impacts in areas like sustainability or healthcare. You'll also be working on frameworks to ensure that in the future software development is fair, equitable, and takes everyone into account. And you'll be one of our makers, working with other people from other parts of the university to actually get the hard work done, do the development, code the applications. You could be working with our mathematicians who will frame problems, for example, or our data scientists that will build models to support your software. You, though, will be developing the back end, the user interface, and the things that really people use in the real world, taking what other people do to the next level and making real products. So to summarize, our students receive interdisciplinary skills above and beyond what the average university student receives. We also have cross-industry innovation and practices through our Impact Accelerator, a project where we're trying to build a hub here in Europe for technology to hopefully attract projects from both business, academia, and from around the world. You will also be hands-on with the latest technologies and software. And what you learn will be future-proof. It will have the skills that you need to work in the industry. So, without further ado, I'd like to present one of my students. He's currently studying in my user experience class, and I've seen this project. He presented it to me, and I wanted this to be showcased because I'm super proud of this student. I think he's done an amazing job with this project, and I think you'll be blown away by what he's managed to achieve. Thank you for your time. And thank you for considering IE University.
Hello everyone, my name is Sergio Verdugo. I'm from Malaga here in Spain, and I currently study computer science and AI. I'm in my last year, so fourth year student. And well, we recently presented our final thesis. So this is a project that I've been developing during my last semester, and I'm going to show you. Well, as you may see here, this is BrainyBuddy. BrainyBuddy is an all-in-one academic platform for both students and professors. For students, what it offers is a platform to approach exam preparation in a different way. The idea is to adapt to the current situation where we students have each time less and less attention span. So I'm trying to reshape the exam preparation in order to focus on exam practice, flashcards, and other material. All of this powered with AI. As you can see here, this is the dashboard in which a student can import their calendar. Here, I imported mine, and as you can see, you have all of your classes available. Then, what is my favorite part is, well, the courses. Here, for example, I imported all of them just by importing the calendar. And the one I wanted to show is my Julius Baer interview. I'm doing a job interview tomorrow at Julius Baer. And for this, I created mock exams to practice all of the questions I can get asked during this interview. To do this, I asked AI to gather all of the content and create notes. And after, I fed these notes into BrainyBuddy to create these mock exams. I've completed various assessments, and the output is a grading, but together with weak points to study, concepts to review, and key definitions to remember, while also going through every question with a justification to why the picked answer is the correct or the incorrect one. I think this is a very good way to approach exam preparation, because in a way it sort of gamifies it, and you don't have to stay studying the whole time in your room, and you can do this basically from anywhere while also gaining knowledge. Now I'm going to go to the Professor platform. For the Professor platform is a bit similar, but what its focus is in creating materials for the students. Here, one of the main points is the exam builder. The exam builder, what it does is you select a course. Imagine you're the professor, and here you have all of the documents, all of the slides, presentations, lectures available that you uploaded to Blackboard, which is the app we use currently at IE. Then you can select all of the exam scope and choose the type of exam you want to create and the difficulty. After this, you get an exam bank. Here you can select the number of questions. In this exam bank, you can select the type of questions you want. Here, I'm going to focus on multiple choice questions and select all. After this, what will happen is print exam variants. You upload the number of students, the name of the students in your class, and what the app does is, with AI, all of these questions have been written with AI and shuffled and ensured, so there are no problems which usually happen with these type of processes, which with normally B and C being the correct answer or the longest one. Here, all of that has been removed and enforced, so everything is basically shuffled, random, and what the output is a different exam variant for every student in the class to minimize the overlap, to minimize copying, to minimize any problems that can occur in that sense. The output is a downloadable PDF which contains all of the questions for all of the students in the class, and that is ready to be printed. This, for professors, is a huge advantage, because right now professors spend hours and hours just elaborating exams, and at the end they can also make mistakes. Some of them use AI, and they're not aware that in many occasions the longest answer is the correct one. So here, all of that is solved and put in place to allow them that in 10 minutes they can have an exam ready for 50 or 100 people. Well, this is basically most of the app. I guess I can also talk a bit about IE. I think IE in general is a very business-focused university. It's a place where you get the technical fundamentals, but most of it, you build the relationships and build the mentality to always be building stuff. You'll find that your classmates and everyone around you is currently attending to hackathons, building new products, and everyone, currently I'm building with a student from another degree who is in BBA and BIR. So you build relationship with everyone around the university, and everyone is always trying to build new products. This is something you get at IE, and in my opinion, is one of the most important features of the university. And well, that's the presentation. I don't know if there are any questions that anyone wants to ask.
Yeah, we do have one of the questions in the chat I read. So someone is asking, is Brainy Body free?
Uh, okay. So one of the limitations of creating this type of app is that it's very reliant on LLM tokens. At the end, to make a product like this viable, you need to limit the amount of LLM tokens the user can use. So what I have in place is, because well, after this, I would have to pay taxes on all the revenue and everything, is that the user can use at most half of what they pay in subscription in LLM tokens. I would love to make it free, but right now those are the limitations, so I can't do that. But I promise it's not much.
Another question, can you talk a little bit more about the process of building and developing the app within the university, and how did it help you to make it better and make it evolve?
So, well, first of all, this is something that the idea mainly came to mind because of my time here at IE, and the whole process. I would highlight, well, first of all, Robert's involvement and other professors that saw my LinkedIn post where I was announcing something that I developed. I tried the exam creation feature in one of my exams and shared it together with my whole class, and received amazing feedback. And a professor of mine came to me and said, "Look, hey, I would love to use this, so maybe you can develop something like this to professors." So I've received a lot of help from different members of the university throughout the whole process, from the beginning to the end. And right now I'm currently shaping this whole app to try to implement it in the whole university if possible, try to present it to the appropriate people, and try to enforce this as a standard in the exam making in the university.
Great, thank you. Another question, what makes your app different from the other study apps that you can find everywhere? What makes it unique?
Well, I think most of the apps I've come across up to now, most of them to create study material, first of all, they're just an LLM plugin that is not student aware. At the end of the day, I think I've been able to tailor this product for students, as I'm really aware of student needs, and most of the time it's just an LLM plugin, LLM API that outputs questions, but these questions, B and C, are normally the correct answer or the longest one, and these are issues that I've encountered all the time. Then to creating flashcards, most of the apps out there right now, what they do is they allow you to create flashcards, but you have to do them manually. The system I've developed here is done so that the LLM has basically no hallucinations, and it iterates over each question it creates and every concept, so that the concept inputted as context into the LLM is the absolute source of truth, and no knowledge is extracted from outside. This enables the system to have no hallucinations and give accurate questions and accurate correct answers.
Another question, how would you rate the difficulty of this Bachelor on a scale from 1 to 10, if 1 is the easiest?
Honestly, I would say around 7. I think if you go probably to a university that is full technical and focused on the deep research that right now IE doesn't have, but I'm aware that it's building a PhD program and building other solutions for students that are more interested in that side. But I think what our degree is focused on is more in giving presentations, actually building products that are very industry aware and very marketable right from the beginning. This is something that in other technical universities you don't get a chance of doing, and here it does prepare you very well for real job situations. And I found in the internship I did, in the curricular internship, that this was a huge advantage because I was able to rapidly deliver the products I built to stakeholders in a very fluent way, which other people maybe cannot do that.
Say is the best source to prepare and gain the skills prior to starting the course?
Well, something really good is that the course, I don't think it assumes any previous knowledge. Of course, it's good if you have any background, reasonable background in math or in programming, but there's no previous knowledge required. And I've had classmates coming from, they studied biology and they went into computer science. Others was more interested in math but had no programming background. But at the end of the day, there's no previous knowledge required. So no matter where you come from, you can come into this degree and perform very, very well.
A follow-up on that question, what do you suggest are the lessons or the topics to study as an undergraduate in high school to prepare the best for college and this kind of courses?
Well, as I just said, I think probably mathematics, if you have computer science at the high school level, it will definitely prepare you for many of the classes. In my case, I had a very strong background in physics and mathematics. I studied advanced A levels, maybe you're aware with it. I did mathematics and further mathematics. So everything in terms of calculus, algorithms, I was very familiar with it, and I feel I had a very strong previous background. But as I say, at IE you get many people from many different places. In my class, we have so many people from South America, from the Middle East, and everyone with their own systems, their own educational systems. Some of them had a worse previous preparation, but still could get up to the rest of us and probably perform much better with no problem. So again, probably yes, studying math is the best, but you can study whatever you want.
How personalized is the teaching at IE University? Do you feel like the teachers are helping you? Are you taking the time to help you? How do you feel?
That is probably the best thing about IE. And not only the network you can build, but it's funny to say this, but the teachers know your name. This is something that in many other universities doesn't happen. And when you want to have a conversation with one of your professors and want to have meetings with them outside of class hours, you can get that with office hours, or they're always available to meet with students, which is such a positive note. I've developed multiple projects in my own time during the university, and I had to talk with different professors, and they were always available to help me. So even if it wasn't their class, I knew a professor that could help me with a project, and he would happily help with it. So this is something that maybe you don't get at other universities, but at IE is one of the main points.
And one more question is how easy it is to balance extracurricular activities, sports, given that this degree is still quite hard and challenging?
Well, honestly, I've never had much of an issue. Of course, you get to exam season where most of the exams are focused, most of the final presentations, and that month is very intense and probably a bit harder to handle. And if you do any sports, you'll be doing a bit less over that month. But apart from that, the rest of the time is very easy to do other stuff, and it will not occupy 100% of your time. Also, in the fourth year, there's a very good thing, which is a 70% attendance policy that In my case, it allowed me to attend multiple events, multiple conferences that otherwise I couldn't have done. So in conclusion, it's very feasible to do other stuff while you're also studying for this degree.
A very interesting question here. You and your friends from IE University, how do you feel about the AI growth and the changes in the job market?
So, well, I think none of us really know what's going to happen. I've recently seen a few studies that companies, rather than downsizing in, well, what would affect us in developers and our similar roles, are focusing on making more money with the current personnel. So trying to leverage AI to maximize output rather than downsizing and cutting costs. This is something that, well, in the US and in Europe has been going on. Maybe we're going to see less hiring of juniors. This is something that is going to happen. But at the end of the day, the people in our degree are the ones that are more familiarized with the technology itself. So we're the most prepared to go into the job market, because right now, perhaps the cost of code has gone down, but still understanding very deeply how these technologies work puts you way ahead compared to a business student or a different student that maybe doesn't have that knowledge.
We have another question about the difficulty, so I'm going to reply to that one. How difficult is the math part on a scale from 1 to 10? 1 is the easiest.
I would say around 6. Yes, 6 or 7. Well, but yes, a 7, I would say. There's, of course, the basic calculus, probability, and statistics, but then you go into more advanced algebra and how the LLMs, transformers work in the background, how the matrices multiplication work, and those do involve a lot of mathematical notation, but still it's mostly algebra, matrices. There's nothing too complicated, nothing that is going to be super, super hard.
Based on your experience and the ones of your peers, how good is the computer science and AI bachelor in terms of developing your own project, such as yours, and for example, ventures or startups? And do teachers support the initiative if you want to build up your company, for example, your startup?
Definitely. This is something that, well, at IE, you get so many events. There's the IE Venture Lab, the Datathons, Hackathons. There are so many events that investors attend, organized many times by external companies. Recently, I'm participating in one, in an Iberdrola Datathon, with very good prizes for the winners. And all of these events are supported by professors and allow you to first build your own MVP and prototype for this competition, for example, where a network of investors attend, and you can get many leads if you're planning to start your own company. But in my case, well, here with Brainy Buddy, I've had huge support from Robert, for example, in trying to make this a viable app and a real product. So, I mean, talking from experience, yes, definitely there's huge support for all of these initiatives.
And as a final year student, what advice can you give to us hoping to start a program at IE University? Any advice? Any tips?
I think, well, one of the things is try to meet as many people as possible, not only from your degree. In my case, I participated in an AWS competition that was organized for IE, and I met a BBA BIR student that helped me a lot with all of this and gave me a whole new perspective from a business student to how I was approaching the marketing of this product. At the end, meeting new people, making new connections can lead you to places that you might not expect at the beginning, but maybe they can be your business partner. in the future, but especially you can make very good friends.
Hugo is asking, thank you, Hugo, for the question. How are the deadlines in this course? In his country, projects are normally given with a deadline, which is usually a week or even for the next day. How is the experience at IE?
This, I don't know if there's a standard at IE University, but I've normally felt that professors give a very good room to prepare for projects, for exams, and we get handled a syllabus at the beginning of each course, and that contains what we're going to work in each session, when the exam will be, how the grading of that specific course is going to be structured, and that includes quizzes, projects, and all the appropriate dates. So you will likely know right from the start, right from the first session where the professor presents the course, you will definitely know everything that is going to happen in that course, including projects or any other thing.
What is the AI policy within the coursework? For example, are you allowed to use AI to help you during the coursework?
So this has changed a lot because, well, AI has been evolving so quickly that it has changed a bit. Definitely in terms of writing, everything that is trying you to come up with original thoughts and original text, this is very strictly enforced. So we cannot use AI for those purposes. But for code, except in classes that, for example, it's an algorithms class when we're actually writing the code helps structure your thoughts, and you need to be familiar with that thought process. Except in those, well, in the final thesis, we can use AI to build our products, to build our data pipelines. So yes, I would say there's a distinction between classes that you need to come up yourself with the text or with the code, and classes where that's perhaps not the main objective, that you're trying to build something else, but you need AI and you can leverage AI to build the products.
Do you feel like you've developed any niche skills during this course that could realistically be used to build any business? And I would even add, find a good job.
Well, I would definitely say so. I think AI opens you up to pursuing your interest. In my case, I've had a lot of interest in sports and also in finance. So I've always been connected with other students that also had these same interests. And I did my final thesis in sports analytics. And well, right now I'm very close to obtaining a job in a very big private bank. So I would say that having this knowledge and this network and this ability to pursue my interest in that sense has given me an advantage towards obtaining a job in this niche, in this industry, that perhaps other people with my profile would not have that advantage. That makes sense.
Okay, so it seems like we're running out of questions. I think this is a great time to end the session. It's been great. We would like to thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. And thank you also, Sergio.
Thank you.
For clarifying and answering those questions. And we hope to see you all soon. And thank you so much for your interest.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.